while standing. Just a little intro to that. We'll also start though seated on our mat and show you how to rise and how to do a few variations. So we're going to start seated on our mat, and if we can sit knees apart here and sitting down on the heels. If that doesn't work for you, you could also use a block or a bolster underneath to find that seat, or you could sit with your legs out front. So let's just start to take a moment just to settle into our breathing, noticing our breath, maybe taking any tension out of the shoulders. Beautiful. With inhale, maybe you notice where the tension is. With an exhale, you kind of let it drop. And if you can think about also as your exhale drops, maybe place your glutes onto your heels a little deeper. On an inhale, maybe you bring your arms up either to a Y or all the way overhead. On an exhale, hands down at heart center. Just to practice breath and movement. Inhale, you could just bring your arms even out to the side if that works, and then bring them back down to heart center. Beautiful. We're going to just turn on our Ujjayi breath, that victorious breath and nose breathing. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose, the sound of the ocean. We're going to take a few little gentle twists before we come to standing. So first twist, maybe just take left hand to right knee and right hand behind you and take a little gentle twist. On an inhale, exhale, twist a little deeper. We'll come back to center and we'll take that same twist. Right hand to the left knee, left arm behind. Inhale, exhale, twist a little deeper. Now you can stay here with that twist, just taking a couple more inhales and exhales. Or if it feels like you want to make it a little bigger, you could inhale, arms up, exhale, bring them down and twist. Inhale, arms up, exhale, we twist. Kind of wringing out the cares of the day, getting used to breath and movement together. Nice. Coming back to our center. Nice. Now, toe sit's another great pose, but sometimes it's not accessible to everyone, but we're going to try it today. So that, come up with those toes here underneath you. You kind of got your toes spread if you can on the mat, and just kind of sitting back on your heels. If you can't sit all the way back on them, that's okay. You can try it. Or another option would be to just spread the toes with the fingertips in front of you. I'm going to do the full expression of the pose to start. Again, though, please find the variation that works for you. Toe sit is great for the meridians of the feet, however. So trying to sit here in this lovely toe sit. Deep inhales, long exhales. Maybe setting your intention for the day as a way to take your mind off of the toes. Another way to take our minds off is maybe finding circles for the wrists. I like to set an intention for I am allowing. I am allowing all things. I'm allowing myself to try new things. I'm allowing myself more grace. I'm allowing. Maybe you flip those wrists up and down. Maybe in doing so you start to feel a little tired in the toes, so you place those hands down in front of you. You can still spread those toes. The hands could come a little closer. If you want to work the wrists a bit, the wrists can come side to side, fingertips pointing to the outer edge of the mat, or the wrist could come towards your knees. You could still kind of do a little toe work here. Or if that's too much, one wrist can come pointing to the knees. One fingertips pointing to the knees, one wrist pointing to the knees. Yeah. So you could switch. Fingertips pointing outward, fingertips pointing to the knee. Perfect. And then come to all fours, our tabletop position to start. So we're going to just start right here in that tabletop and take a deep inhale. Long exhale, press into the ground. And as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, a little sway back cow. Exhale, tilt down, the chin comes down, back comes up, belly pushes up, you take an arch back like an angry cat. Inhale, drop the belly, tilt and round, exhale. And it doesn't have to be as big and exaggerated as mine. Find what suits you. Beautiful. Just to stretch the body out a little, let's bring that right leg back, maybe a little back and forth. Beautiful. You can bring that knee back to center. Left leg comes long. Gentle back and forth. Just finding the rocking of your movement. Nice. I'm going to do just a little bit of activation to kick up that core that's going to carry us around, and then we're going to kick up those glutes too, because they're going to be working a little today. So take those toes. The toes are curled under. Deep inhale. Exhale, lift the knees off the mat, maybe just an inch or so, really activating the core. Holding here if you can for these few breaths. If you need to, you could place one knee down or the other. Like you can alternate, or you can come down at any time that this is too much for you. Pushing the floor away, finding the strength in your hands, not in your wrists, more in the fingertips as you lift these knees, engaging the core. The core is doing the work here. Nice, and then dropping the knees. Beautiful work. A little side to side, maybe left ear to shoulder as you bring the hips over, right ear to shoulder, little side to side, getting our wiggles out. If down dog is in your practice, we're going to practice a down dog here. If not, I'll show you another way to get there, but we can try this one. So deep inhale. As you drop the belly a little for your sway back cow, exhale, come to almost your cat. Lift the knees off the mat. Let your hands really take your weight. Fingertips kind of hinge forward a little with your shoulders so that you're not hurting your shoulders. Let ears come down to meet biceps, and you can have a generous bend in the knees and a lot of space between your feet as you just come up to a variation of a down dog here. And you can start to straighten the legs as it feels safe to do so. But you could be in a real big bend, or you could come all the way up, those hips stretching up to the sky. Roll those elbows in, really pushing into the pads of the fingertips, hands, so we're protecting the shoulders, and the wrists. The hands are doing the work to hold us. Nice. You can have a generous bend in the knees. Inhale, come on down, back down to our tabletop. Nice. We're going to just go ahead and find our way to standing. So you can do a couple things here. If you want to come into down dog and then take those steps forward, another option is to come to like malasana first, or just to come to more of a generous forward fold. So like you could be here. I like this crouch and curl, where you're in a crouch and curl. You gently keep the thighs together with the belly. Belly is on the thighs, and you're in a generous curl. And then you push the feet into the earth. Ground the feet in as you come up one vertebra at a time. Slowly, slowly we rise. Bringing our arms either up overhead or just to heart center. So options to take that in a way that feels safe in your body. The other option would be, I like to come from malasana. If malasana feels good to you, you could be here, which is our malasana. So when we were down, you could have done the malasana pose here, if that feels all right in your body. And then you could have taken that crouch and curl from malasana and come up. And lots of options. Whatever feels good to you. We got to protect those knees and those joints. Nice. So depending on every yogi's body is a little different. We're going to do like a modified sun sal. So we're not going to do a full-on vinyasa sun sal, but we're going to greet that sun. Deep inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands at heart center. One more inhale. It could be a Y or all the way up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale, heart center. On our next inhale, if it feels okay, go ahead and drop down halfway lift. So hands can either be here on your hips, like you're kind of making that back straight. Hands can be on your thighs or down on your calves if you can find that. Crown of the head shines forward. Really feeling that nice elongation through the back body. Deep inhale, long exhale here. On the next exhale, you could really put a bend in the knees and forward fold. Again, planting those feet in the earth as you rise. So just a little half sun salutation. Inhale, we rise. Exhale. Take a full forward fold. Bend in the knees if you need. Inhale, our halfway lift, shining the crown of the head forward. You could also use blocks here if you have them. Beautiful. Full forward fold and a rise. Beautiful. Take just a slow flow with a couple of little poses. So we're going to start with right. Usually, we're going to start right. The right side of the body is doing everything. So all of our weight shifts to the right side of the body. We come up on the left toes. So you could just stay here. Deep inhale, long exhale, or you could lift those toes off the earth. A lot of times pointing the toes looks prettier, but flexing the toes might help with balance more. So flexing those toes, Looking at something in front of you that's not moving that helps you keep your balance for one-legged mountain. When you're ready, you can step that foot back to your spot. You're stepping on the toes or up, heels are up. You're on the toes and heels are up. And you're finding your crescent moon pose. Arms can come up if that's okay. They can come to the side or they can be here at the waist. Inhale. Crescent moon, trying to not look at anything that's moving is hard here as people are walking by and the waves are moving. Beautiful though, just a beautiful setting. Deep inhale in our crescent. Nice, we're gonna exhale and find our warrior two. So right hand comes out front, right knee takes a bend. You can find a couple different shapes here. Corridor, where the ankles are in a, like kind of meeting up. Your ankle here is meeting the arch of the foot. Usually helps with that open hip more. So hands can be on hips or you can bring arms out. I like to bring the arms out because that's the full expression of that warrior two. You could flip your palms to adjust your shoulders. You flip the palms back down. You reach with those fingertips. You could make a mudra to help you. Maybe notice that you can see that big toe, so make sure the knee is tracking more over the toes. Your hips are open, so this back glute might need to move a little. Nice. Open hips, warrior two. Take a side angle. Maybe that right hand comes down to the right thigh. You can bring left arm up. Side angle pose. If you want to challenge, you could be here. Next, we come back to our warrior two. Beautiful. We take our reverse warrior. Nice. Coming back to warrior two. Now here we can just take our arms up and straighten that front leg and then back down to warrior two. Up and down. Nice. And then we're going to come to a spot where we're going to find our legs wide. And I'm going to turn around so I'm not facing you with my booties. So legs are wide here. And you're going to take a little bit of a half forward fold. So deep inhale here. As you exhale, just come down to that halfway lift again. So spine is flat, hands are on our hips. We're thinking about this movement in the inner thighs, not as much in the back. So our inner thighs are stretched. Beautiful. We're strengthening here. If a full forward fold is in your practice, you can come all the way down or you can just stay here for this first one. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Inhale, coming back up. Kind of bring the feet a little closer together to find our goddess pose. Toes are out, hands at heart center. You could stay here. Take a bend in those knees, more weight in the heels. Goddess. Deep inhales, long exhales. Inhale, we come up. 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Next one, maybe you want to open those arms for the full expression of the goddess. You might even want to bring arms together to get a little bit of work for those, the back body, shoulders. Nice. And then on our last inhale, we come up. And then let's step to the top of our mat to work on that other side. So all our weight shifts to the left, lifting up right, either onto the right toes or right leg coming up, maybe flexing to find our balance. Stepping back to R. Maybe this leg comes back farther or maybe closer for our crescent. Hands on hips or up high. Crescent lunge, deep inhale, long exhale. Sometimes I do a twisted crescent here. I didn't in the last sequence, so we'll just open right up to the warrior two, left hand in the front, right arm to the side. You can find, for me now, I get to look and check my balance in the camera, but you can also I'm using the shadow too, which is kind of sometimes nice to see if those arms are straight. Make them active though. Most important, those active arms. So think about active fingertips. Think about activation here. Again, activation. Gaze is strong. You're a strong warrior here. Beautiful. Exhale, that left elbow can come down the left thigh. We could find our right arm up, side angle, or here. Nice. Finding our way back to warrior two on that left side. Open hips. Flip the palm. Reverse our warrior. Peaceful warrior. Nice. Inhales, back to warrior. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhales. Exhales. And then let's find our way back to that wide-legged forward fold. This time go ahead and bring hands to your hips. come down halfway or your variation. Take a deep inhale, long exhale. If you want to expand your stance or try to bring the hands even down in front of your face, if you want to bring them closer to you, you find your forward fold. Beautiful. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Nice. And then maybe you bring those toes a little close together. Walk your way up, starting with halfway, coming back to center. Let's find our goddess and maybe add a little something to it. So toes are out, find your goddess. Maybe here you raise your toes so that you can really feel the weight in the heels. Nice, hands at heart center. Let's add those arms. Beautiful. For maybe at 8 count, taking those long inhales, deep exhales. Don't forget the breath. Nice. And then on this next inhale, exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, we come up. Nice. And then find our way to the top of the mat again. We're going to do a little variation of that before we come down to our mats again. So just a little bit more breath to movement. All our weight shifts to the left side. We lift up that right leg. Nice. Maybe the right foot is flexed. Nice. Oops, all our weight comes to the right side. Sorry. See, and then we do the left. I want to get us even. So right weight on the right. We're lifting up the left leg. Nice. And we found that I cued the wrong thing, but we're still all okay. It's just making us balance a little longer. Step back those toes, those left toes. We're in our crescent on the right. So right knee is bent, left ankle is high, heels high, like you're wearing a pair of high heels. You're on your toes, strong in those legs. So think about your legs being really strong, your core being really strong. As we take a twist, left arm to the front, right arm behind on the exhale. Nice. Inhale back to center. We're going to go ahead and stay right here for one breath. Next one, we find that warrior two, right hand out front, right knee bent, left foot is parallel to the mat. Our hips are open. We find our warrior two. Maybe you reverse that palm up and down to find that. Nice. Now you can stay here, or you could inhale and exhale. Or another option, if you want to play a little bit with balance. I usually do a longer warm-up for that, but we're doing a shorter video today, so we can do a little bit of playing with balance by coming forward, putting our hand down on the ground. Maybe our left hand comes to our waist, and we just lift up that right foot a little. And it doesn't have to come up all the way. We're practicing a variation of half moon, so you can have right hand down on the ground, left hand on hip, and just lift those left toes up a little. You could hinge them up, or you could lift them up all the way, toes to the sky, opening up the hips. Maybe gaze comes to the side to help you open your hips. Maybe you bring that left arm up to really have that full expression of half moon. Beautiful, open hips. As we come back down to our warrior two. If that didn't work for you, you could still just be here playing with this. And that's enough. You're moving. Nice. Hands to heart center. Step up. Beautiful. All our weight now shifts to that left side this time. And right foot coming up. Beautiful. Stepping back right foot. Inhaling, left arm comes to the sky. Right arm, both arms come to the sky. Right hand comes to the front as we take that little twist, crescent twist. Nice. Really engaging the core to stay here. Strong in the legs, back to center. Left arm comes out as we find that warrior two on our left hand side. Beautiful. Inhales and exhales can just bring us here, or we can try to play with that half moon. So maybe that bend in that front knee, left hand comes down, right hand comes to the hip, and we just hinge up a little. Or maybe we kick that foot up even more, pointing the legs to the sky, pointing the toes to the sky, opening up that hip. You could stay here. You could have a block as well, which would be helpful under your hand. Arm can come up, looking to the side. Half moon pose. Beautiful. Stepping down the half moon, make sure that front knee bends so you find your warrior two again. Nice. You could take a couple flips up and down. Beautiful. Stepping to the top of our mat. Beautiful work. Nice. Playing with balance. Deep inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to come back like down to the mat with our crouching curl and then come up on our toes. So different kind of toe sit. We're on our toes, heels are up, and we're here, finding balance. Resetting our intention, noticing how we feel after our practice. Beautiful. Lovely. Such a great place to practice. I have so much gratitude for a day like today, even with the wind blowing. It's just gorgeous. When you're ready, I want you to set that intention. I want you to either just come right back down to your mat. You can use your hands, or you could try a little challenge move of sitting your booty down and coming straight into like a boat pose or half boat. So legs are up like this. Yep. Or you could be here in a full boat. Options. Today you'll now see my layers of clothes because it's colder out here. Beautiful. Finding our boat or a half boat. Maybe tapping toes if that feels better to you. Just to get a little core work. You know I'm not going to let you forget that. We're going to work the glutes a little too before we come to our Shavasana. So finding our way to our seat. Let's find our way down slowly, slowly, slowly. I'm going to do a little glute work in bridge, just to have those glutes fire up and carry us around all day. So like tickle the ankles here. Have those palms face up. Take a deep inhale. Ground the feet into the earth, and as you exhale, lift up the glutes and the hips. Maybe this first one can be small. Dig the heels into the earth as if you're trying to push them towards your glutes. Lifting up in your bridge. Exhale, drop the booty. Nice. Beautiful. Long inhale. Maybe you just sway the knees just a little like a blade of grass in the wind, just to feel the sit bones and a little massage in the low back. Inhale, next exhale, raise the glutes maybe a little higher this time. Raise the hips a little higher. As you raise, really connect those heels to the earth, feeling this in the quads and the glutes. Activating those muscles to carry you around for the rest of the day. Beautiful. Dropping the glutes. Nice. And our little sway side to side. Inhale. As we exhale, let's lift one more time. Maybe this time you lift a little higher. Maybe you can even interlace the fingers underneath you and get a little shoulder stretch here as you lift a little higher, if that works. If not, keep the hands down. If wheel is in your practice, you could take a full wheel here as well. Deep inhale through the nose, long exhale out the nose. Nice. Finding our last few relaxing poses before our Shavasana. Let's take our right foot on top of our left knee, and this is our figure 4. You could stay here. You could lift the heel, or you could place the foot under a block to kind of give yourself a little bit of work for the this right hip, a stretch, or you could place hands underneath the left knee. Don't pull the knee too close to you. Maybe flex the feet instead. Flexing feet will give you that nice activation and stretch in the right hip without kind of forcing. We're not passively forcing ourselves into a stretch. We're actually actively creating this stretch by our own flex of the foot. If the flex foot's too much, just kind of let them be gentle. Nice. Bring our arms out to a T next to us, like a goal post, and then drop that right foot over to the left side if we can, in the same shape, so you're going to get a little bit of a stretch. If that's too much for you, you can bring these together. Left hand can come on top of that thigh. Right. You can look over the right to find a nice side body stretch. Again, you find what works for you. Most important thing, keep finding that breath. Deep inhales, long exhales. Our last few moments of thought, maybe setting our intention again. Trying not to think of anything else other than our breath and that intention. And then coming back to center, maybe we lift the knees and find a couple circles or a little rock side to side, whatever works for you. Reset, and then bring that left foot on top of the right knee. Same thing in this figure 4. You could just lift the right heel if that's enough, or you could put your foot on a block, or you could bring hands under the knees. Flexing the feet's going to give you more of a stretch here. Beautiful. These are some beautiful, more restorative poses and some end of the class poses. Thank your body for all the hard work. Long inhales into the spaces you're feeling this. Long exhales to release. Bringing those arms out to that T, dropping left foot over to the right side of the mat if that's a comfortable position, or finding one that is for you. Changing your gaze to the opposite side if that works. Beautiful. Inhaling into the side of the body that's feeling this. Beautiful. Coming back to center, our last pose before Shavasana. You can bring the knees up towards the sky, and if that's where you're at, your knees can just stay here in like a reverse tabletop kind of thing. Or if your legs can come straight, you could find waterfall. You could also put your hands underneath your glutes here, or your low back, or you could put a bolster or a block there to find waterfall or legs up the wall. Really take the power of that breath, that ocean breath, inhaling as if you're inhaling through the toes, exhaling out the crown of the head. Like the waves of the ocean, the breath comes in like the waves, inhaling through the crown of the head, exhaling out the toes. Finding a few moments every day for waterfall. It's one of the best poses for calming your central nervous system. It's the opposite of what we do, a counter pose to sitting and standing. So good for our bodies. Great for the effects of menopause. Great for hot flashes. Great to kind of counter those effects, not to... It's a great pose to combat that. So it's a great one to do before bed. You could even use a wall to get up next to stay in this longer, or you could use a chair to have knees bent. Either way, beautiful effects of this inversion. If you're needing any movement, you could circle ankles, you could find happy baby or even half happy baby, or you could just hug knees to chest here. Not tight, not passively, just bring them close. Give yourself a little hug and squeeze on the inhale, and on the exhale, let the body go long to take your final Shavasana. So finding your way. I like to think of my legs a little bit wider. Right ankle meets the edge of that mat, left ankle meets the edge. Maybe you open up the feet and expand. Our Shavasana pose. Palms can be up if you want to receive some energy, or they can be down if you need to release something at this time. Staying here in your Shavasana, we'll stay together for just a moment, just thinking of nothing, just your inhales and your exhales. If you need something to take your mind off of the day, I like to repeat the mantra of So Hum. Inhaling for So, exhaling, hum. So hum. So hum simply means I am enough, I am that, I am. So hum. If you have time to stay in Shavasana, I invite you to just stay in Shavasana a little while longer. Those that want to be guided out by my voice at this time, maybe find Some wiggles in the fingers or the toes, circle the wrists or the ankles. Take a long stretch overhead. Put a bend in each knee and maybe windshield wiper legs side to side. Rolling over onto whichever side feels the most comfortable to you. I'm going to roll over onto that right side, using one arm as a pillow, finding a moment in that fetal position, that comfy position where you can give yourself a hug, hold yourself tightly, thank yourself for doing the work. When you're ready, you can take a comfortable seat, helping yourself up using one arm as a kickstand and taking that comfortable seat to close out our practice. If you can keep the eyes closed or the gaze off, that's wonderful. Beautiful. Taking a moment here with our breath, just breathing all together. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Keeping the eyes closed down if you can. Rub those palms together to create a little bit of heat. Place those palms over your closed eyes. Blink behind those eyes, or blink behind those hands, letting in the light. Place those thumbs on third eye center. Beautiful. Thanking yourself for an amazing practice, for taking the time to take care of self. The light, the teacher, the love in me sees and honors the light and the teacher and the love in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so very much for taking the time to practice with me today. See you again next time.